Hi everyone, it's Sandy and today I am back with another book signing vlog. I'm going to Marissa Meyer's book signing today. She's going on tour for Heartless, which is her new release, and it came out on November 8th. I really like doing book signing vlogs. I've done 2 already and this is my 3rd one, and I really hope you guys enjoy watching them as well. I know that not everyone has the chance to go to book signings, so watching a book signing vlog is a great way to see what book signings are like. The book signing is at 2 p.m. and right now it's 8:48, which is very early. I'm about to leave my house in like 10 minutes because I want to get to the book signing early, and the earliest train that would allow me to get there at least an hour early is the train that's at 10:40, so I need to be at the train station by 10:40. My ticket to get in line is number 48, so that's not too bad, and I definitely know there's over 100 people going there. I want to get good seats so I can film some of the Q&A for you guys. So basically I will be vlogging my adventures of the day. You'll see clips of me just doing my own thing and then clips at the book signings. I'm not sure if I will actually pull out the camera and film myself at the book signing just because there's so many people there and I know that everyone's just going to stare at me if I do that. I still need to work on my confidence when it comes to vlogging in public because I just get really self-conscious when people are looking at me, but I'm working on it. So I will talk to you guys in the next clip once I leave my house. I just got out of the train and now I'm going to walk to Union Station, which is a different train station that takes me out of the city to go to the book event. And I'm carrying a tote bag and a backpack, and it's just a very annoying when my tote bag always slips off my shoulder. But yeah, I have a lot of books that I want to get signed because there is the entire Luna Chronicles and then Heartless, and I'm also carrying Gemina in my backpack because I was reading that on the bus. And I'm almost done with it and it's so good. Oh my god, you guys, if you haven't read Illuminae, then you need to read it. And if you haven't read Gemini yet, you also need to read it because they're so good. Now 11:15 and I just got off the train and I'm heading to Starbucks right now to do homework for about an hour and a half because the signing doesn't start till 2 and I want to be there around 1, so I'll just be spending some time at Starbucks doing some studying because I have 2 exams on Tuesday. Also, by the way, I switched to vlogging on my phone just because it's easier. I just left Starbucks. I honestly did not get much studying done. I spent most of the time reading Gemina because it was just so good and I just needed to know what happened. I ended up finishing Gemina in Starbucks and it was so good. I need to talk about it. I think I'm going to film a book discussion video on it. I really wasn't planning on to, but there's just so much I want to talk about. And I didn't take any notes, so I don't know how the discussion video will turn out, but we'll see. It's going to be like a 25-minute walk to the book signing location, so I have a lot of walking to do. So gonna get me some exercise because I haven't done that in a long time. So I have my headphones in because I'm about to listen to an audiobook. I've been listening to Starflight by Melissa Landers, and it's really good. I really like it.
Hi! Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed your trip down the rabbit hole today. I'm very pleased you could join us for this fabulous Mad Hatter Tea Party. I'm seeing many of you all dressed up and you look fabulous. We are of course here to celebrate the release of a very historical document, which happens to be the biography of our great queen, focusing mostly on her teenage years. So Heartless is, as you heard, my first standalone novel, and it is a prequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, telling the untold, the origin story of the infamous Queen of Hearts. But she wasn't always the queen. She started out as a fairly normal teenage girl named Catherine Pinkerton. And Catherine is the daughter of a marquess and a marchioness. She's been raised to be a lady in the court of hearts, and her parents have high hopes that she is going to be able to marry very well. In fact, there is a rumor going out throughout the kingdom that the king himself is looking for a bride and has set his eyes on Catherine. Catherine, however, is not quite so thrilled by this news. For one, she has no interest whatsoever in the King of Hearts. It's not that he's a bad guy, he's just sort of an idiot. So she's simply not attracted to him. Plus, there's the problem that she doesn't want to be queen. Catherine has a very different ambition. She actually loves to bake. She is never happier than when she's in the kitchen creating fine delicacies and pastries and desserts. And she and her best friend have had this long-standing fantasy of someday opening the best bakery in the kingdom. And Catherine rightfully feels that if she were to become queen, she probably would not be allowed to accomplish this fantasy of hers. So, one night at one of the king's balls, in fact, the ball at which Catherine is pretty much expected to accept his marriage proposal, Catherine kind of panics and runs. And as she's fleeing from the castle, she runs into the new court joker. The court joker is a guy named Jest, and he's a very sort of mysterious fellow. Nobody really knows who he is or where he came from. He's very magical. He's not like anyone Catherine has ever known. In the great tradition of jokers, he's a magician, he's an acrobat, he's a musician, he's a comedian, and he's a very, very charming guy who very quickly begins to sweep Catherine off her feet. And the two of them enter into this secret courtship unbeknownst to her parents and unbeknownst to the king, who also believes that he is in a courtship with Catherine by this point. And so pretty much things go downhill from there. So one of the things that I particularly wanted to talk about today is one of my favorite scenes in the book, which is one of my most favorite scenes to write of anything that I've written. It is after Kath and Jest have, as I mentioned, kind of entered into this courtship, and they go on their first date, we'll call it, and he takes her to a tea party. Well, of course, Catherine has been to hundreds of tea parties, but she has never been to a hatter's tea party. And they arrive, and she very quickly realizes that the hatter's tea parties are nothing like those polite affairs at the castle. The hatter's tea parties tend to be more like a cross between a circus and a talent show, in which throughout the evening, every one of their guests is expected to stand up on their tea table and entertain the rest of the guests with a variety of talents. And so, as we are here today enjoying this lovely tea party, I thought that we would pay homage to the Mad Hatter and his fabulous tea parties by hosting a little talent show of our own. Ooh. So what we're going to do is we're going to have some super incredibly talented people come up on stage with me, and they are going to amaze you all with some of the most spectacular skills and talents that you have ever seen. Some of these talents, they probably don't even know they have. Come on up. My name is Zoe. Zoe, very nice to meet you. Thanks for being at the tea party today. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I have in my hand 6 cards, each of which has a talent on it. So you will pick the card. I will tell you what your amazing talent is, and you will wow the audience, who will all cheer because they are so impressed and amazed. Okay, got it. She really hopes she gets singing. There might be a singing option. We'll see what you get. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am so pleased and honored today that we have Zoe with us, who happens to be the headmistress of Zoe's finishing school for proper young ladies. So today, Zoe is going to instruct us all in the ways of perfect posture, as well as the literature that any modern young lady is expected to be familiar with. So could one of you hand me that book right there? Thank you. So Zoe, what you're going to do is you're going to balance this on your head while reciting for us a beloved nursery rhyme. So you can choose a nursery rhyme that suits you there.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and Humpty Dumpty, I don't know this one.
Okay, let's start again. You're doing good.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
All right, who's next? You, Hogwarts. Are you a Hogwarts student? What house were you in?
Slytherin.
Yes, Slytherin. All right, I'm Ravenclaw, but I won't hold it against you. And what is your name?
Nina Bella.
Nina Bella. That's beautiful. Very nice to have you, Nina Bella. Yes, I am so happy to introduce Nina Bella, the mirthful comedian, who I'm sure you've probably all seen her, but she happens to specialize in impersonations of beloved literary characters. So today, Nina Bella is going to impersonate a fabulous literary character for you all, and she is going to be so amazing that you will instantly know who she is, and when she's finished, we will all shout out the name of the character. Okay? So you can choose. You can talk, you can speak, but attempt not to use names.
I've read and memorized all of the spell books. Do you think that's enough? It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
I think that was the best Hermione impersonation I've had so far this tour. That was fabulous. You did your house well. Oh, yes. I have to admit, I'm a little intimidated by Neha. She is, after all, one of the greatest bodybuilders of our time. I'm sure you haven't heard, last year Neha shattered world records when she bench pressed 600 pounds with nothing but her right thumb. So tonight, my publicist put me up to this, and I hope you won't hurt me, but I have agreed to enter into a thumb war with Neha. Okay, Neha, here we go.
Okay, you guys got to start to count us down, okay? Okay. All right, try not to hurt me. Okay, so you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare thumb war. 5, 6, 7.
I have to write with this hand. It has to be anyone. I'm honored to be beat by you.
Thank you so much.
What would some of the main characters from the Lunar Chronicles major in? Cress would be computer science. It's weird because they already have skills. It's like, well, Chris would do computer science, but she could teach the computer science class, so why would she have to do that? And same with like Cinder and mechanics. Cinder would probably benefit from a political science class. Rather than murder. I can see Scarlet being the type, well, and Winter too, not so much to major, but they just want to take like different classes of things that interest them. Like today, I'm going to go take flower arranging and things like that. So, yeah, I might have to give it more thought. So what inspired me to write about Eco or Iko? I love her so much. Like I knew really from the very beginning as I started coming up with this idea about this cyborg Cinderella, I knew that she was going to have an android best friend, but in my earliest conceptualizing of the story, I'd envisioned this android to be much more serious and robotic and logical like a computer. And then I started writing it, and Iko shows up and was like, well, that's boring. What if instead I have a shoe fetish? Like a ridiculous crush on the prince. And she just kind of took over and became her own character, and she was that sort of character that knew exactly who she wanted to be without me having to really get in there and manipulate her. So she was always really fun for me to write as I was writing the books. And then I also, like, you never really get to learn too much about Iko's backstory and how and why she is the way she is. So I always felt like there was more that could be done with her. And I had this idea for this kind of continuation story that, you know, brings back all of the same characters but puts Iko at the middle of it. Because really in Iko's head, she was always the hero of the story anyway. So it just felt kind of natural to make her the actual hero for once. When I first started writing, did I know that each book would have a different point of view, or did I ever think that it would just be Cinder all the way through? No, I knew exactly that it was going to be, you know, every book would be based on a different fairy tale, and that fairy tale character would be, for the most part, the main viewpoint character of their story. But at the same time, I knew that Cinder was really the hero of the series, and that her story was going to continue through it all. And I always kind of saw the series, you know, as Cinder's story, but as she's going through these various fairy tales, she's like collecting these other characters around her to form, you know, this group, and only together are they able to take down the evil queen. So that was pretty much my idea from the beginning. For world building, so the question was, with all of the intricate little details of the world building, do I plan those out beforehand, or do they come into the world as I'm writing? I know authors who plan things out in a lot of detail before they start writing. For me, though, it's much more the latter. I will generally have an idea, a big picture of the world, but all of those little details are things that tend to just kind of crop up. I like to think of it in kind of terms of layering, like that. The first draft that I write, you're seeing a lot of the more big picture stuff. You know, what is the government like in this world? What is the overall weather like in this world? And then maybe in the second draft, I have the opportunity to think more about what are the cultures and customs, or what are the people wearing. And then with every draft, you're getting a little bit more specific and digging in a little bit deeper, until hopefully by the end of it, it feels so real and tactile that it paints a picture not only in your mind, but hopefully in the reader's mind too.
About 4:10 now. I just got out of the signing and it was a really great event. Marissa Meyer was super nice. Right now I'm going to walk back to the metro station to go home. I'm really glad that I got the chance to see Marissa Meyer again. This is actually my second time meeting her. I first met her at BAA, but I didn't really get a chance to talk to her that much. But since I had like 6-7 books for her to sign, I was able to talk to her longer, and she was just so sweet. And I hope you guys enjoyed that talent show portion because it was very entertaining. I would have been so self-conscious and shy. I wouldn't be able to do what the volunteers did, so I applaud them for that because they were great. So for some reason this building is locked and I can't get in, but like the door looks like something is trying to escape, and it's creepy because there's no one inside. Like, do you see that? That is honestly so creepy, and I'm going to step away. I am finally home. It's about 7:30 right now. I got home like 30 minutes ago and I was just eating dinner. So now I'm going to announce the giveaway. This is a giveaway simply for my viewers. I don't want to have like the word giveaway in the title of the video because I just want people who like actually watch my videos and not just click on the video because it says giveaway. So I forgot that I pre-ordered Heartless. I usually don't pre-order books months in advance, but there was a promo going on where if you submit your pre-order, you get like this magnetic bookmark, and I wanted that, so I pre-ordered it. I forgot I pre-ordered it until I received the email that it was shipped, and it was too late to cancel the order. And in order to attend the event today, you need to buy a copy of Heartless, so I had 2 copies of Heartless. Instead of returning the copy back to Amazon, I decided I might as well just get it signed and do a giveaway for one of you guys. In case you're wondering what Marissa Meyer's signature looks like, that is what it looks like. And so one of you will get a signed copy of Heartless. I will have a Rafflecopter link in the description box. So this is the bookmark that I got when I pre-ordered Heartless, and they were handing it out at the book event. So since this is my second one, I will also be including this in the giveaway. Unfortunately, this is not international. I'm so sorry for you international viewers. I just can't afford to ship internationally, but I promise that there will be giveaways for international viewers in the future. So these are all the books that I was able to get signed. I was only able to get Heartless personalized, so these other books are just signed and not personalized. So I will just show you the signed copy of Heartless, and it says, "To Sandy, we're all mad here." So that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really like doing book signing vlogs, even though I'm not the best vlogger, but I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!